Disclaimer, this show is for educational purposes only and is not an alternative for clinical counseling. Please seek a mental health professional for your specific needs.
Welcome to Intake Talk Show, where it's time to shine the light from a mental health perspective. I am your host, Bertha Barrett, and this episode focuses on why people fail to take men's mental health seriously and what happens when silence becomes suffering. For generations, men have been told to tough it out, to suppress emotions, and to wear strength like a badge of honor. But what happens when silence becomes suffering? Our guest today brings a raw, real, and deeply reflective perspective. Mr. Jaren Walker, who is primarily known as Boogie, has walked the line between discipline and vulnerability as a past correctional officer and behavior tech, and now channels those lived experiences as an actor into powerful roles on screen, from independent films to recognized productions. We'll explore how creativity became a coping skill, why society struggles to validate men's emotional pain, and what it means to heal out loud. This isn't just a conversation, it's a call to courage, to unmask the emotions hidden behind masculinity, to replace man up with open up, and to redefine strength. This is more than storytelling, it's social change, whether you've worn the mask or witnessed it. This dialogue offers a path forward. An article in Psychiatry International exploring the role of masculinity in male suicide, a systemic review, discusses the role of masculinity in Western society and how it often affects men's mental health. This idea of masculinity teaches men, males, to hide their emotions, never ask for help, and always appear strong. However, this can make them more likely to suffer in silence, avoid mental health support, and in some cases, see suicide as the only way to escape emotional pain. So, if you're ready to lean in, to listen, and to learn, stick around. This is Unspoken Wounds, Men's Mental Health Through a Creative Lens, and it starts when I come back.
Welcome back to Intake Talk Show with your host, Bertha F. Barrett, licensed mental health counselor. Today's guest is actor and producer Boogie, who will kick off our 6 weeks men's mental health series. Your Intake podcast will start momentarily, but first, let's shine a light on what's to come. We spoke to 3 creatives about the importance of men's mental health, especially in the Black community, different walks of life, different art forms, and powerful perspectives. This series will last 6 weeks, and every guest will have a part 1 and part 2 segment. Get ready for raw and authentic conversations around masculinity and mental health. Unspoken Wounds, Men's Mental Health Through a Creative Lens. And now, your Intake podcast starts now.
Welcome back to Intake. I'm Bertha Barrett, your host, and today I have with me Boogie. Boogie is a father, actor, creator, filmmaker. He's an all-around great person. Boogie, welcome to the show today.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a father of 4. I got 3 girls. I got 1 boy. Uh, I'm happy for having a boy, but I was good with the 3 girls. But I got a 20-year-old. No, I got a 22-year-old now, and then a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old. All my girls, they all done with school or college. Well, at least high school. Everybody's done high school. 17-year-old just graduated high school and shit. She graduated a year early. Big up. And then I got a 9-year-old boy. It's cool. It's cool having them. Boys are different.
They are indeed. I have a grandson, but they're beautiful.
Yes.
So first of all, I want to give you much respect for acknowledging first that you're a father. Like, I've just given you all of these great titles and you come in and go, I'm a father at 4. And
Yeah.
right, you didn't say anything about I'm an actor, a creator,
Yeah.
all of that, father. So I appreciate that. And we need more men like that. Indeed.
Yeah, it's the biggest badge you could wear, and it's the best one because legacy is everything. So what you teach your kids is a reflection of you.
Exactly.
I want my reflection to be nice and right.
Okay. I love it. I love it. So in following with the topic, tell me, why do you think people don't take men's mental health seriously?
I don't think they take men's mental health seriously because the way society, from, and I didn't notice this until I started raising them. Man, like, men have a hard time naturally just controlling their emotions. And then we tell them as young kids, like, what you crying for? You know, we tell them to bottle them up. And then they become young adults and get entwined with girls, because girls is the first thing that's going to give you your first. Well, it could be other things too. You got abused and stuff like that, but I ain't never been through that, so I don't know. But like, like, girls is the first thing that give you that first emotion, and if you don't learn how to take that, and you can mess up there. Like, some kids mess up there, right then and there. Some people go a long time during life and don't have the woman that brings that emotion out of them. And then they have everything, and then they lose it all because they don't know how to control that emotion. So raising a young man, it just made me more aware of like, oh, we don't have control of this at all. And society raises us to where we think it's okay to bottle it in. And then when it all comes out, because anything that you bottle in, after a while, it's going to come out.
Right. I totally agree. I totally agree with you. So one thing I am aware of, as a mental health professional, but also as a woman, right? Who also has a brother, right? And a father. Well, he's no longer here. Is that men are sent the message that masculinity looks like, okay, you have to be tough and hold in those emotions, as you said, and you can't really show them. What was the message given to you as a young man growing up about this masculinity?
Oh, I'm a crier. I cry all the time. So, but growing up in the '80s was rough. So you gotta toughen up fast. Okay. So this is what I want to tell everybody. Like, people need to listen to the people in the '80s. As long as it's between 81, 80 and 85. But I think that we understand life so much more because we live without computers. We lived with computers. We grew up with it, and we lived without it. So to us, we see more life on a different perspective than kids see it now, or kids that were born after us and stuff. They have more video games, electronics,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right. So that interaction indeed was missing.
What's missing and stuff. And then you used to get beat in the '80s, and you had to, even while you was getting beat, they asked you why you was crying.
Yeah.
That's a wild question.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that message alone, based on how our brain works, teaches you to, toughen it up and hold it in, even when it's hurting. And that's the wrong message to send to any child, right?
Yeah, I had a stepfather used to pluck me. He'll pluck the hell out of you. I'm sorry. He'll pluck you.
Right.
And it'll be like, you have you on your P's and Q's to where emotions is very deep, and you be like, I'm not gonna cry, even when you sad. I got a spider phobia from being scared to pick up some stuff that was in a corner of the house. You had the corner of the house and everything blowing. So I had to pick it up, and I didn't move fast enough to his liking, and he pushed me in there. And I'm death-defied of spiders now. If we live together and there's a spider, I need you to put on the pants and kill it.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So, why do you think specifically with African American men that it's difficult to talk about mental health issues? The one thing I'm always trying to teach people is, I don't think people understand, is that the same way we have physical health, we have mental health. You cannot separate the two. When we're talking about health, we're talking about overall. We're talking about wellness, we're talking about overall. But still, there's a stigma around mental health, like the word is a bad word, right? But we all have it. It's just a matter of how to maintain and take care of it, just like you take care of your physical body. But with African American men, while it is slowly getting better, there's still some issues with African American men really addressing mental health issues or oftentimes dealing with depression, and depression looks totally different with men than it does with women. So, from your standpoint, why do you think African American men often don't really talk about mental health concerns?
Because we don't have time to be depressed.
Hmm. What does that mean? You don't have time to be depressed.
We already have everything like stacked against us. So you gotta work. You gotta provide for your family. If you can provide for your family, some guys are messed up when they was younger, so they can't provide for their family in the right way. So that means that they're doing it the wrong way, which means that creates more mental stress. Because that when you sell drugs, it creates paranoia. Because you're paranoid because you don't want to get caught. So that's going to create another problem. And just the even like I worked for the Department of Corrections for Florida, and they tried to make me look like I was crazy, like they wasn't trying to fire me.
Hey.
But they were trying to fire me.
Mhm.
And they would throw stuff in there, and if you don't have a strong mind, some of that stuff can get you out the law.
Again,
You go outside as a black man, you gotta worry about police. You gotta worry about another black man. You gotta worry about it's just so many variables that you gotta worry about every time you go outside, you know. And that's a lot to deal with. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Unfortunately, in Western society specifically, because race is such a big issue, and most people are taught to see black men as a threat. Then what happens is, we get addressed like that. Black men are seen as a threat. Black women are seen as just angry. But really what it is, it's the society that you live in that puts this pressure on you. And so it's almost like you always have to have your guards up. You're always hyper vigilant because you're not sure what's going to happen. And most people see that in a negative way, but it's been created by the society that we live in. There are many black men out there who've never sold drugs, who are very educated, who, like yourself, are creative, all of those things, but they're still seen as a danger, as a threat based on this Western society that we live in. So I understand what you're saying because most of us, I didn't have a son. I have two beautiful daughters, but I have a grandson. And the idea that you would have to teach your male child that once you walk outside this house, there are certain things that you have to be aware of. That can be a stress in itself because every time that male child, that my brother, my dad who's no longer here, every time they're outside of, the scope of my vision, I'm always concerned about them.
Yeah.
And that's because Western society has built that hypervigilance in us where we always have to worry about our African American men, our African descendant men. Let me just say that. And so I think that's the biggest issue with African American men. I thought it was interesting that you said we don't have time. I've never heard that before, but I get it, right? You have so many things stacked against you until you're just trying to manage yourself, right? And often in trying to manage and navigate life, the last thing you're thinking about is mental health. Although you may be feeling
I
stressed.
mean, you don't. I don't think that men don't think about it. I think that's the wrong perception to think. But we think about it. I know we're going through it, but if you're a real man, you don't have time because you have to keep going. Like there's people who are dependent on you to provide.
Mhm.
So with that, you have to just just keep going. One time I had a dog and he kept running out the backyard, right? And the neighbors started yelling, and I grabbed the dog, and there's a pit bull and stuff. So we walking back to the house. So I was like, and his name is D Boogie. I was like, yo, D, what you doing and stuff, man? Like you like you're a pit bull, so that's like equivalent to being black. You can't just be running out here.
Mm.
And that dog never ran out the yard ever again after that tour. Like I could let him out and he'll run out in the backyard and never ran out.
Interesting. Interesting.
He understood what I was saying.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So I heard you say if you're a real man, you don't have time. And that's what I'm trying to do is break that idea that real men.
Oh no,
Us.
only reason why I say that is because some men be out here not doing what men supposed to be doing. So
Okay. Okay.
they're not real men. Like
Right.
if you're not if you making kids, you laying down and making kids, and you not. And just because you provide for a kid, that don't mean that you raising a kid. You could provide money for a kid
Right.
and not be there to help raise. Because a woman could raise a kid, fine, cool, but men put the structure in kids' lives. Let's be real. Like if you're a man in a kid's life and you're not the villain, you're probably not doing it right, because we're the ones who's going to say, no, that's not what you're not supposed to do that. No, you're not. Sometimes as a father, especially as girls, there was times where mom like, yeah, y'all could go. No, you're not going to that, because I just don't want you to be in that environment, because I understand what that environment consists of. Sometimes women don't think like how men think when it comes to like, sending kids out there. So it's different. To me, it's different type of men. And if you're a real one, I mean, you're taking care of your seeds and people, even like I have young men that I influence in their life, and they're not my kids, they're not my sons, but I know I make sure that they structure their life to be better than me when they get to my age.
Mm-hmm.
One kid was about to quit the Department of Correction and go to the Army. The department, they don't want to pay this young man.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was a white young man, they would have told him, oh, you got to fill out this paperwork and do this and this. He told me the night before, like, Sarge, I'm about to quit tomorrow. So no, you're not. You're not going to quit tomorrow. What you're going to do is you're going to go up to that office and get the paperwork to say that you're going to go to the Army and you're still working for DOC. It's been 10 years. This young man has been in the Army over 10, 12 years, and he worked for DOC. And so I remember he called me after a couple of years and he said, so, I said, what's up? He said, they still say, keep saying, and he's been doing it. He's leveled up. I got other young men that they was in the department with me, and then they went to the county because I couldn't go to the county. Okay, so there's two things that are looking like this as a man. Like, okay, I know I got all these tattoos, and I'm the first and the last person to be saying that you shouldn't put tattoos on your face. You shouldn't put them on your hands. There's certain things that you shouldn't do until you figure out your path in life, because it could hold you back. And I experienced that a lot.
Okay. Well, since we're on that subject, how do people react to you when they first see you?
I'm scared of me. But it's cool. Like some people, some people can see spirits better than others. So some people, if they see, they can feel you got a good spirit. They're not judgmental. It's all about how judgmental you've been raised or you are. I mean, everybody's judgmental because I do it. And look how I judge people. But, I just make sure if I try to figure out somebody's character from my own and not from what somebody tells me or from what I think they look like. Because, you could get confused a lot by doing that. Instead of some of the prettiest people are ugliest people in the world.
I totally agree. I completely agree with that one. Yeah. Um, so you were talking on the matter of, how men are different when it comes to raising children. I do agree. And that's because specifically African American men, because they're aware of the dangers out there. And while African American women are aware of dangers from the standpoint of how they're being seen, they're not always aware from the male standpoint. And so that is key, understanding the awareness from a man's standpoint and helping in that way. So, how can we as women, we in the household with these beautiful brown skinned men, help men better understand or work through their emotions, even if they don't want to go to therapy? Because a lot of times it's about really helping them work things out. While we can't
I
change
think
anything,
we should push more therapy though.
I like
I,
that
I
point.
think
I
I
like
think
your answer.
I think we should push more therapy because okay, so one thing DOC did that okay, so sometimes people do stuff for you, do stuff to you
Mm-hmm.
that end up helping you out in the long run. So they used to try to make me feel like I'm crazy, like I'm trying to get fired. So I used to call them, and then they'd be like, "You need to talk to somebody." Like three free sessions, fine. I'll go talk to 'em.
Right.
But then you find, and this is what everybody does wrong. They go to their first psychiatrist and they go, "Oh, I don't like that. I don't like them. I don't want to do it." That's the wrong way to think about it. If you think about the world, there's a lot of people in the world you do not like talking to. So if you see a psychiatrist and you meet one and y'all don't get along because y'all don't talk the right way together, find another one.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't give up on the whole situation. Just find the one that fits you because Ed, he helped me out tremendously. And I think it like changed my life. That and reading some books.
Okay.
It changed my life and I'm able to process my mental status better.
I love it.
I used to just get mad like over like little things. I may blow up every once in a while. No, and nobody's perfect. Like people be thinking once you working on your mental health that there's a point where you're not. It's not true. You're gonna work on your mental health for the rest of your life.
There we go.
Like,
Exactly.
your mental health will be worked on and tested your whole life. Period. As big as scary I am, people still want to fight. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I love that. Okay. So it's really about pushing mental health more in the African American community.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think that service should be, a lot of us don't have health care.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we do have health care, it's just dental, eyes, or a primary doctor. Nobody think about going
All right.
to go talk to a therapist. I tell my daughters all the time, when they start not wanting to listen to me or they don't understand where I'm coming from,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they don't feel comfortable sharing the information that they want to get off their chest with me, because people need to understand that too. If somebody tells you something, and this is a big part of mental health, if somebody tells you something, don't go and tell the next person. They came to you with that confidence that they was going to get that off of their chest. And don't be a vindictive person. And then when you get mad at that person, regurgitate what they told. That's the worst part of mental health. Like if you tell somebody something that you really, and women do it a lot to men, like you tell somebody something and then they use it back towards you. Like, all right, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts just thinking, like, even talking about it.
Right. Right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that vulnerability too. I appreciate it. We need to see more of that because the reality is it is true. There are a lot of people that will not talk to family members, their mate, their partner, because of that same reason. Because they're afraid if they show that part of themselves and disclose too much, it's going to always be thrown back in their face. And that in itself is like, that is emotionally painful, right? To have those things thrown back in your face. That's why I always say, regardless of the stigmas around mental health, the things that therapists do that family members, best friends, don't do is we can't talk to anyone about what you talk to us about.
The only thing you can't tell a therapist is that you're going to kill somebody. I know. Don't say that because the whole situation changes. So don't say that.
Exactly.
Just don't say that.
Yeah.
Because they get serious then. They're like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm like, oh, I was just like using figures.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. And you can't harm yourself or you can't harm anybody else. Two things, right?
That's it.
Um,
And you should love yourself. Like, listen, anybody out there that wants to harm themselves, if anybody should love you, it's you.
Yeah.
Love yourself more. I love myself so much that people think I'm arrogant. But I just love myself that much. And I work on myself that much to love myself that much.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic. You about to take me a whole nother route.
I'm
But
sorry.
we're going to stay right here. No, we're going to stay right here because I totally agree. Because oftentimes we're taught how to pay attention to everything external, how to love somebody else, how to be there for somebody else. And then when we're in it, when it comes to self, it is seen as selfish, arrogant, conceited, all of those things. But the reality is that you should love yourself, right? Because you got to live with you on a daily basis, right? All of you, emotions, feelings, thoughts. And so the most important relationship you'll ever have in life is with yourself. Exactly. So I appreciate that for saying that because that's important. And most people need to hear that. So I really appreciate your vulnerability. I really appreciate this interview. You don't understand how much I'm appreciating this conversation because it's hard to get men to talk about these things, right? Regardless of race, it's just hard to get men to talk about these things, period. And so I appreciate you just being here and really having this conversation with me because it's needed. So I want to ask you, have you ever experienced anything that has affected your mental health to a point where you have really needed to just sit down, look at yourself, talk to somebody? Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, I just I guess from going to the free classes,
Mm-hmm.
it made me like, this felt good. Like it made me like really understand how good it made me feel. So then I started investing my own money into it, and $25. I think the copay was probably $25 because it was like out of network. But I liked him, so I kept going ahead.
Right.
But and then just learning like decisions, like when you go to therapy, it teaches you how to process your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you could process your thoughts better, you don't have the anger part coming out. Cause I got, okay, so I go to therapy one day because me and my ex-wife got mad at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mad, right? And then as I was mad, because I'm going through learning how to control my anger, I was like, sitting there like, I ain't even this mad about this situation. Like, what is wrong? Like, because I'm raging inside, I'm raging, but I don't understand. I'm like, not really that mad. So when I went to therapy that week, I told my therapist about it. And he was like, that's it. And I was like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, like a eureka moment. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just told you I was mad for no reason. He's like, that's it. He's like, you got explosive anger disorder. Like, you get so mad over little things that you shouldn't be that mad about.
Right.
And then, like, when he said that, I went back in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you go, like,
Yeah.
make him think about a whole bunch of stuff. And you're like, yeah, because I definitely wasn't that mad about that. And then that one, and then this one turned into a whole situation, and it really wasn't that serious,
Right.
but I didn't know how to control it then. But now I do better at it. And I try to keep my hands off for other people too.
Right. Exactly.
As long as I do that, I'll be good.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Um, so I always tell people too that when it comes to mental health, people think that they have to have like anxiety, depression, all of those disorders to sit down and talk to a therapist. But
But
sometimes it's just life.
anxiety is scary though.
It is.
I had anxiety. The job gave me anxiety for the first time. I was like one of those times they suspended me, and then like I made it back. So now this is my first time going back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to ask my therapist because I didn't understand what was going on. Like, feeling like I can't breathe. I'm driving. I'm like, it's so weird. But if you don't know, and that's the thing. Sometimes if you don't know what these things are and they're happening to you, and you don't have nobody express it, because I didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to work, kept going. And then when I was able to talk to my therapist, then he explained to me, oh, that was anxiety type of.
Right.
He was having anxiety, like the job, going there, returning there, gave you anxiety. And if you don't know what that is, imagine having those feelings
Right.
and not being able to understand it.
Right.
It's a scary situation.
Anxiety is scary, and all human beings experience anxiousness.
Yeah, that's what it was
Yeah.
in the 80s. It was just anxiousness. Cause anxiety came while I was living.
Right.
We didn't hear about this word
Yeah.
until like in the 20s and 2000s, 10s.
Yeah.
Anxiety been there. It was anxiousness.
Anxiousness. We all have anxiousness. And it's really it's in a response. It's like a good response. Like it's your body's way of saying, hey, something happened and we need to pay attention to this, right? So we all get anxious. Think about it when you're working and you have a deadline to finish the job, right?
Yeah.
And you're feeling anxious. And sometimes it's a good anxiousness because now you gotta work hard and you gotta, exert that energy to get it out to finish the job. That's anxiousness too, right? And so we all have, anxiousness within our body as human beings. It's just when that anxiety gets so expansive that it interferes with your day-to-day living in a way that you're so anxious every time you go somewhere, you're stuck. You're almost in a panic, right?
That's
Yeah.
a terrible thing.
And that's when we call it now a disorder.
Oh,
It becomes a disorder
okay,
now.
so it becomes a disorder when you have it uncontrolled.
Right, when it interferes with your life, right?
Oh.
And that's when you go to work. You can't go to work because you're so anxious.
So people have that problem when they get like that when they can't even go to work.
Exactly, yeah. It's called social anxiety, or they're just racing. Their thoughts are constantly racing. They can't sleep. They're always feeling on edge. Things like that is called anxiety, generalized anxiety. So it does happen, but every human being has this anxious response, okay? And I don't think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, that it's a natural human response, that we all become anxious. It's just when it gets to a degree where it is interfering with your life, now we need to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's key. So we're gonna now talk about creativity, okay? Because you are a creative being, right? And I love it. We had a good conversation before the show. I love it. How does creativity help you? Like manage life, cope. How does it help you?
Well, first I thank God because he put me in so many situations that I've seen. So, cause seeing it helps you be creative.
Mm-hmm.
The more you see it, I think the more creative you could be. The more you see how precious life is too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes you more creative because you understand that tomorrow's not promised.
Mhm.
So you want to get like all your ideas out today because you never know.
Yeah, I love that. All right, all right. Have you done any roles or movies that you could say that you played and you're like, man, I can relate to this?
Um, well, right now I do a lot of I be trying to play a father. I just want to play a father
Okay.
because I just want to show people. Like, did you see Forever?
I did. Mhm.
Man, he did such a great job playing the father.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like that's what I really be wanting to do. But right now, I just do like a whole bunch of killing and gangsters and crazy stuff. But I do like doing that
Right.
because I like going to that place where because when I'm filming. Okay, if I'm in front of the camera, because I do front and behind, but if I'm in front of the camera, there's no rush like being in front of the camera, but coming at that that character. And then the whole like I don't know what happens with other actors, but with me, like the whole production part of it, it like disappears, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm really that person.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
I'm really living in that moment. And that part be fun because like I do some wild stuff. I be killing people and stuff. It's not like I want to kill people in real life, but it's just like, you can't.
Yeah.
So in the movie, it's like, oh, okay, let me try it out and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just like the variety of characters I got in my bag. Right? I like that part.
Okay. So we're going to be right back, and then I'm going to talk to you about typecasting. Okay. We'll be right back. If you are a professional or someone with a story and would like to be a guest on the show, go to our website, intaketalkshow.com, and complete the form to be a guest. Perhaps you are someone with a question or comment that you would like addressed on the show. Again, go to our website, intaketalkshow.com, and complete the contact form. I hope to see you soon. And remember to continue to talk about mental health and how to make yours a priority.
This concludes our interview with Boogie. Did you enjoy this episode? We'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments and feedback on our YouTube channel or Facebook page. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Next week, we'll continue our conversation with actor and producer Boogie as we move into week 2 of our men's mental health series. Thank you for watching and listening.